Hey, what up? What up? Just want to make a quick video. And this video was not predicated on, you know, trying to make a point about Tank or whatever, or Frank Martin, but it just kind of, I guess you can say, prompted me to make this video. It kind of really made me reflect and kind of think. And so this video I'm about to make or talk about is it's bigger than just using Tank Davis and Frank Martin as a tool for this video. But you got a lot of people that say Tank don't fight nobody, and I've kind of, if I'm not mistaken, I've talked on that. But you do got a lot of people that say, Tank don't fight nobody. You don't fight any athletic boxers, anybody who's athletic and black. That is first of all, let me just touch on that. That is some of the most, like, ridiculous points, and like the most, like, I hate when people, like pundits and people who cover the sport of boxing, on YouTube, say that nonsense. Like, this fighter's never fought any athletic boxers or black boxers. Like, bro, let me tell you something. Styles make fights. And so, yes, we have a lot of good boxers that are black or from America, but they are not the epitome of what makes a like, they're not the only challenge out here, I'm trying to say. You got a lot of different boxers who have different styles, who can give you different work, who can give you different challenges that can be just as credible as a win if you would have fought someone who's black and athletic. You get what I'm saying? Black and athletic, and whatever you want to say it. And so I hate that ridiculous notion that, like, do I think black boxers are one of the best out here? Yeah, but that's not the epitome of what. That's not the, how do I say it? It's so much out here than just black and athletic, bro. There's so much other challenges as well as that. You know what I'm saying? And there's so many fighters out here, bro. Like, you just can't pin it on just that, bro, as that just being the epitome of a challenge. Yeah, they're great challenges, but they're a great challenge, but there's other challenges and styles out there that you can say is just as credible as being a top level black fighter as well. You get what I'm saying? Like, I just hate when people do that, bro. Like, how many, first of all, if we're going to really be keep it a bean, especially if you're using Gervonta Davis as an example, how many people, black fighters in his weight class, are just athletic and whatever, slick, or whatever you want to say, in his weight class? You only got two, pretty much. Frank Martin, who else? And Shakur Stevenson, right? Who else? And Devin Haney, who's above, is not in the weight class anymore. That's three people. Y'all can't pin someone's career off 3 fights that he's gonna have. Y'all can't. Y'all can't base someone's career and his legacy off 3 fighters that is, you can say, black or whatever. Y'all can't pin someone's legacy off 3 fights that he's gonna have. So after he fights those 3 people, what else then? What else you gonna say? Come on, like, I hate when people, like, just, like, use these make up these narratives just because you want to see this fight so bad. Like, those fights are gonna happen. Or just because you don't favor a certain boxer, now you want to pin these weird narratives. Oh, he never fights these kind of people. Bro, those same people that you saying, that same narrative you're saying about him, you can easily put that on Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, and other boxers who are black as well. They haven't fought Tank either. So It's just the business got to get done, and when the business get done, you see a fight. Like, we're so like a lot of boxing fans are bratty. That's what it is at the end of the day. But I just had to get that out the way. Now I want to address this part, and it's gonna I'm gonna picky this back off the Frank Martin fight and the Tank Davis fight versus Frank Martin. And I'm gonna clarify this too, because I was just talking about being slick, black, and athletic, and all that kind of stuff. First, I'm gonna say this: being slick and being athletic is not synonymous with each other. Being slick and being athletic is not synonymous with each other. And so, what do I mean by that? I'm gonna use this fight as an example. Frank Martin, he's black, right? He's black, right? But he's not slick. He's not a slick fighter, bro. And that doesn't mean he's not a good fighter. You don't have to be. Being slick is not synonymous with being a good fighter as well. That's another thing people got to understand. These boxing fans got to understand. These boxing pundits got to understand. Being a slick fighter is not synonymous with being a good fighter. Being a slick fighter is just a look. It's just an aesthetic look. When you see visually a fighter, you could say, oh, he's slick. He has a certain look to him. His fighting style has a certain look to it. But that doesn't mean you're a good fighter. There's many slick fighters that's been out here who has lost to fighters who are not slick or be deemed as slick. You have a lot of slick fighters who have lost to fighters who look very basic. You get what I'm saying? And so being slick is not synonymous with being athletic or a good fighter. Okay? So Frank Martin, for example, very good fighter. He's not slick. What he is he's rugged. He's rugged and he's rugged, but he's like a clean rugged, if you get what I'm saying. Like, he has a weird, I don't want to say a weird style, but he has because usually when I see rugged fighters, they're usually not as clean. What I mean by clean is that the way they throw their punches is not really as technical. But Frank Martin throws his punches very correct, very precise, very short, but he also has this rugged style to him. So he has this kind of in-between style, if I would say. But he's not a slick fighter, though. What I would deem as a slick fighter, Gervonta Davis is more of a slick fighter. In this fight, in this bout, Gervonta Davis is the slick fighter. Frank Martin is not the slick fighter. Frank Martin is the rugged fighter. Gervonta Davis is not the rugged fighter. He's a little more, I would say, I don't want to say calculated. Yeah, I would say more calculated. He takes his time more. And so that's the way I would see it. But not only Gervonta Davis is the slick fighter, he's the more athletic fighter. Now, that doesn't mean Frank Martin, that doesn't mean he's not athletic, but I don't see him. When I think of an athletic fighter, I don't think of Frank Martin initially, although he is an athletic fighter, but I don't think that. I think of rugged with athleticism. I do see athleticism, but I think of rugged and just someone who throws his punches very correct, very precise, but he's not slick. And you gotta understand this: just because you're slick, that doesn't mean you're athletic, and just because you're athletic, that doesn't mean you're slick. These words are not interchangeable. You get what I'm saying? Another thing is, just because you got hand speed, you get what I'm saying, that doesn't mean you're athletic. You got fighters who have hand speed, but they're not athletic. You know what I'm saying? You got fighters who have hand speed who are not slick. All three of these words, athletic, speed, slickness, they're all not interchangeable. They're all their own entity when it comes within the boxing ring. But now you got some fighters who have all three of them. You got fighters who have slickness and athleticism. You have fighters who have a mixture of that. That's Devin Haney to me. That's Gervonta Davis to me. That is Jerome Boots Ennis to me. Who else? That's Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather was not only athletic, but he was slick. Who else? That's Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner was athletic and slick. It's a look. The slickness is just a look. And sometimes that slickness could sometimes be interpreted as not seeing certain punches that they do. Because sometimes it can come off awkward or whatever sometimes. Not all the time. But that's what it is. But then you have fighters who have some of those things individually. Like, for example, some people may say Shakur Stevenson from the naked eye, or who are not just being detailed about it, they would say he's a slick fighter. Shakur Stevenson is not a slick fighter. Some people would say he's athletic. I don't see Shakur Stevens as an athletic fighter. Not saying he's not athletic, but I don't see him as an athletic fighter. I don't see him as a slick fighter. I see someone who's well-rounded and who's very technically sound. That's what I see Shakur Stevenson as. And that doesn't mean he can't beat slick athletic fighters. You know what I'm saying? And that doesn't mean slick athletic fighters can't beat him. You know, it's just a style. You know what I'm saying? It's just a certain things people have and certain people don't have. Another example, what's his name? He just fought not too long ago. Kid Austin. Kid Austin is not a slick fighter. He's a rugged, athletic, explosive fighter. You get what I'm saying? He's rugged and he's athletic, but he's not slick. Sean Porter. It's funny that I'm saying Sean Porter right after him because a lot of people compare him to him. But Sean Porter, not slick fighter, but he's rugged and he's athletic, really athletic. You get what I'm saying? So we gotta know the difference. We can't put everything into one category, everything into one box. It just doesn't fit like that. It doesn't. I can give you some other examples. The Charlo brothers, not slick at all. Not slick at all, but they're athletic as hell. Explosive. You know what I'm saying? They're explosive. We just got to know the difference. We just can't put everything in the same box. Jerome Boots Ennis, he has everything. He's explosive, he's athletic, and he's slick. You see, there's some fighters that have all three. That's Jerome Boots Ennis. That's Gervonta Davis. You know what I'm saying? Some people have all three of those things. And so we cannot put everything into one box. And we cannot act like just because you have a certain attributes, that automatically means you're more credible than another fighter. Any fighter can get beat. You can get beat by a regular basic fighter who don't have crazy athleticism or crazy slickness. You get what I'm saying? And so I just hate when people we just gotta be more meticulous when we analyze these kind of things. We just gotta be a lot more meticulous. But that's just some of my thoughts. And also you have fighters who just have hand speed and don't have any legs like that. For example, Amir Khan. Amir Khan had no foot speed. He didn't have really foot speed. But he had hand speed. And so same thing with Ryan Garcia. You don't really have the legs or the the legs or the footwork like that. He can't really do certain things in the rings that other fighters can do. But he has hand speed. Which is why, but if that was a black fighter, if that was a black fighter who had just hand speed, people would look or characterize that fighter as an athletic fighter when he's really not. He's not really athletic. You get what I'm saying? He's really not he's really not athletic. You get what I'm saying? I think a perfect example of that is Gary Russell, the one at 135. Hand speed, but I don't think he's really an athletic fighter, if you get what I'm saying. He's not really athletic. But people will see him or characterize him as an athletic fighter or, you know, a slick fighter. He's not slick. He's not athletic. Actually, his brother, his younger brother at 140 is more athletic. I would say athletic, and you could give more of those attributes to him. But the one at 135, who's the eldest, you have media people or just pundits of the sport would characterize him as an athletic fighter, athletic black fighter. Because we just like attaching athleticism and black fighter together when it's not all the time. That should be together. It shouldn't be all of that all the time together. But yeah, you have people who say that. No, he's just a guy who has good hand speed and just throw his punches really, really, really well. But he's not what y'all think he is. He's not athletic. He's not any of those things. He's not slick either. He just has good hand speed. Good fighter. That's not to say he's not a good fighter, but we just got to keep it real with these kind of fighters, what they are. I'm gonna use another example. Terrence Crawford. What would y'all say about Terrence Crawford? What do y'all think he is? Terrence Crawford is an athletic fighter, yes. Is he slick? No. Terrence Crawford is not a slick fighter. That's not what you're seeing. I don't see that. I don't see Terrence Crawford as a slick fighter. Is he a good fighter? Is he one of the best in the world? Yeah. Other than the other stuff that I'm not even going to get into that, but I've talked about it in the past and what I thought about the Errol Spence fight, what happened. But he's not a slick fighter. He's none of that. You know what I'm saying? But then you got people who just not really meticulous about it, or not being meticulous about it, would think that he's a slick fighter, and he's not. You get what I'm saying? He's not. But yeah, this is just my thoughts on my thoughts. We got to stop attaching black athleticism, slickness, and speed, and whatever you want to say it, all together as just one whole box. When in fact, they're all their individual boxes for itself. Some people have a little bit of this, some people have a little bit of this, some people have a little bit of that, and some people might have a lot of all of it together. You get what I'm saying? You got fighters who have all of it. Canelo. I use another fighter, Canelo. Slick fighter, yes, I would say he has slickness in him, but he's not athletic. He has good speed with his hands, and that's all you can say. And that is somebody who wasn't black. You get what I'm saying? Caleb Plant, slick fighter, yes. Athleticism, yes. Good speed, good hand speed, everything. Yeah, he checks all the boxes. He's just not as explosive as some fighters. He's just not explosive, but yeah, man, we gotta know what we're looking at. We gotta know what we're looking at. But that's just some of my thoughts. I'm trying to see if I have anything else to say. I mean, just certain fighters could do more things than others. Like, man, like some people just can't do certain things on the fly. Like what Tank did to Rolly after he knocked him out. I'm not talking about the punch he did. I'm talking about what he did after he landed that knockout punch. What he do? He pivot his way out. Not a lot of fighters can do that. Not a lot of fighters can do that, bro, on the fly. So he was being responsible even after he knocked him down. That's what I was so much impressed by, that knockout, or that sequence of what happened during that time. It's not just the knockout, it's what he did after the knockout. He was still ready to pour it on him. And he put himself in position to do that using his athleticism. Not everybody can do that, bro. Everybody don't have that. You might have the hand speed, you might have all that other stuff, but do you have the footwork and everything to put it together? That's why when people were talking about Ryan versus when people were talking about Tank versus Ryan, and people kept talking and being obsessive over Ryan's hand speed. I'm like, bro, that doesn't matter if you don't have the footwork to go with it. You're like somebody. I'm not saying he's like that against every fighter, but certain fighters, if you just only have hand speed and you don't have the footwork to go with it, you're just like someone stuck in mud. And if you have those attributes like Ryan versus somebody like Tank, who's explosive at the same time, you're like somebody stuck in sand because you don't have the footwork to go with it. You get what I'm saying? So people kept talking to be obsessive over his hand speed, as if Tank doesn't have hand speed as well and don't have the footwork and that foot speed to do what he's doing with his hands. That's why I was so like, bro, that doesn't even matter. Like, how fast are you if you don't have the foot speed to go with your hand speed? So who's really faster? You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I just found out it was really funny when people kept talking about his hand speed. But that's just some of my thoughts. I'm really about to conclude now. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll talk to y'all later.